today is deepening your yoga practices, all right? Now, you know, most people when they start on the yoga path, they're very enthusiastic. In the early days, you got this joy, this inspiration, and you do really well for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And then comes a little bit of, you know, dryness, what you call dryness. Okay, I've been meditating so long, but really, what for? Problems still come. People seem to think that by meditation, like, the problems are going to stop. They come even quicker and faster, by the way, because you bring them on, the karmas, to wash them away. What happens? They come out quickly. As Sri Patanjali says, the only way to cure this human state of a monkey mind that is stung, possessed by demons, stung by scorpions, you know, it's a possessed mind. The only way to work with it is to understand it. So what happens in meditation is you start to see your thoughts come, and of course it's not good. Some of it's going to be real, going to come up, and it'll be so strong. It'll be so strong that you start to not like yourself. Because the thoughts are coming, and they're not nice thoughts. There may be swear words, there may be anger, there may be all these. So because you don't like them, you will blame something else for you having those bad thoughts. But the real thing that is happening to you is, as Sri Patanjali says, when you start to reflect, all the poison will start to come out. The only way you can deepen your practice, the only way, is to take responsibility for your thoughts. The ego will always blame, and you may be right, there may be a situation right there that you can blame. But that's the test of your ego, and that situation is right there for you to blame, for you to learn. So it's a gift. Learn to see the pain in your life is your gift to shift you back and to stop blaming. Because so long as you blame in your life, you will never come to a place of peace. You can't. Because then all your life you're trying to accept, I have to accept this, I have to accept this, I have to accept this. You don't have to do anything in yoga. Nothing. Do you get it? You just have to be with it. My mind is poisonous. Listen to the thoughts. It's all on blame and pointing. Forget. Didn't you hear Gurudev? You cannot change anybody. And what did he tell me? My biggest lesson that I cried all the way from Malaga airport home, you know, is, you know, when I first started yoga, I said, oh, Gurudev, you know, I was helping this one, and I was helping this one, and oh yes, now he was encouraging me to come, and what else did you do? So I told him I did this one and that one, and Nalanie was helping these people. And then when we got to the airport, he turned around and he said, you can help no one. Help yourself. And you know, magic Gurudev. He went straight through immigration. He went straight through immigration. And I went, I'm all tears. How dare he say that to me? You know, the initial, the ego doesn't want to accept the truth. It fights it. But I always remember all the stuff that I read. I got a good memory. All the stuff said, you never want to recognize you. The first thing is blame. So I cried all the way home. And Martin goes, I don't know why you're on this path if it just makes you cry. But I think he was quite happy that my Gurudev told me that, because he'd been trying to tell me many things. And I said, I think you're getting a bit big-headed. I said, me? Helping people? How can I be big-headed? I'm just helping them. It's not even, I'm giving my time. I'm giving my time. Do you see? I was coming into me and I hadn't even realized. But by the time I got home and cried all those egotistical tears, because I was really letting go of what I thought was me, and understood his words really, really, really clearly.
This is your bag. I just tweaked it.
Did I leave it there?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, because I just took cash out. Thank
No.
you very much. You're very kind to, because my son is coming, so my grandchildren. Anyway, let's go back to the point. And
Was you crying?
yeah, I realized, that really what was happening is there I was thinking I could help people, but in my own life I couldn't get things straight. Who was I to really help anyone when I myself was constantly, at those early days, constantly blaming my husband, because you don't meditate, because you don't. And I saw that, how can I even be yogic? How can I help anyone with that? I can't even sit with my husband, him criticize me, and accept it. I had to be better than him all the time. Because why? I was a yogi. It was a big realization and a frightening one for me. A frightening one. Because I really thought, now I really have to make some deep changes and deepen my practices. They were too shallow. They were so shallow that all that was happening to me, and this is the workshop that we're having in America, Journey Through Spiritual Materialism to Transformation. Because this is a journey of every spiritual person I have noticed. They get very egotistical in their spirituality, but I know because I meditate and I do this, and I help people. That we even are allowed to help anyone is a gift from the gods. Because that service teaches us. And to think, to have thought at that time I could help anyone was ridiculous. Because ultimately in life people have to help themselves. All you can do is lend them tools, give them the tools. And that's why I get so excited when you get peaceful and you give people tools, or you use your tools. Even if you don't give them to people, start to use them on yourself. That's the most important. Use them on yourself. Scrutinize your mind every day. And that was deepening my practice. From there, stop pointing outward, stop pointing out. And every time I was saying to my husband, but, sit my mouth. Why am I saying that but? Why am I looking outwards? Bring it in. Meditation, practices, spirituality is bring it inward. The God is in you. The divine is in you. It's in you. All of them say the light is in us. All of them, yes, the ecumenical service. All the different religions talked about the light being in us. Bring out that light. That's your job. So the first thing you do to deepen your meditation or your work or your practices is notice that first. If you don't notice that, you can meditate, you meditate. You're still pointing outwards, you will suffer. It's not good or bad, but you will suffer. Nothing is bad. That you do it, don't worry about it. If you understand it and see it and recognize it, is very good, because then the process of healing that takes a few years, if not more. It will take a few years. Accept and be patient with yourself. You can't change your mind like that in a moment, but accept that. So long as you keep reminding yourself, when I'm blaming, look at me. What do I need to learn? Acceptance. Do you know why this lesson's still with me? Because I haven't yet learned acceptance. I haven't learned that I can't have everything I want. I'm like a spoiled child. I want everything. And if I don't get it, I'm not happy. Accept you're a spoiled child. I can't have everything. Why? Look for the reason. For the better good of the most people. We're not here to please anyone, I agree. But we also have a responsibility. We can't please everyone. Even Gurudev said, you can't please everyone. But please yourself if it is without a selfish motive. If it is without a selfish motive, then you'll be pleasing God. So look at your action. Is it selfish? What is my motive? Is it selfish? Oh, me, I, mine? Or is it that If I'm happier, the world around me is happier. Find out, where are you coming from? Where am I coming from? Be honest. How do you tell? You give, I was talking to Geeta this morning, right, about that. I said, you know how you tell? When you're sitting down, you ask, you're confused, okay? You have a question to ask. You really want something, but there's something you can't have or something that's not happening. Ask yourself in your heart, if I have it, how will I feel? If I leave it, how will I feel? Listen to that heart. It will jump if it's not right, and it will be, wow, go for it. Do you know? You will know. You will know. Sometimes it's not so clear. Sometimes it's just like a little oh, for one and nothing for the other. And you have to follow that. You will hear it. The heart will talk to you. It's so clear. And even though you'd love to jump back into the fire, it won't let you. Or the other way, you're in a fire and you want to jump out. And it won't let you. You know why? Work is not complete. You still have to learn your lesson. And Sri Patanjali tells us, learning your lesson includes burning. You gotta burn. Burning. And it is burning. It burns. It's painful. It is painful. And you just have to allow the pain to pass. And when pain is there, you have to learn to sit with pain. That is the first step in deepening your practices. We do Hatha Yoga. Why? That's another way to deepen your practice. Because this is a lot of mind stuff. A lot of deep work that's going to take a long time. And that you need to meditate every day. Why do you need to meditate every day? Why? Not to sit there to show people, I'm a good yogi, I meditate every day, I'm a good Catholic, I pray every day, go to church, No. You are there to, blessed are the pure, they shall see. You tell me. Yes. Be still and know that I am God. But where is God? Everywhere, everything. But if you cannot stay still enough to see that light within you, you cannot see the light in anyone else. So learn first to bring out the best in you. And the Hatha Yoga is excellent. Why? Because it helps you to focus. You've got a good teacher and a good class. And I'm very, very blessed to hear from many, many people, and I'm not praising the teachers here or whatever, but this has been told to me by so many people that they've gone to many different places in the world and they still find that the Hatha classes here are one of the best. And I just get like, wow. Thank you, God, that we still have good teachers here. Thank you. And I don't even come to some of the Hatha classes, so I can't confirm that. So people tell me, and I know when people don't like something, they tell me right away as well. So if you're not good, I hear right away, and I'll definitely come down like a ton of bricks. I don't spare anybody. But when you're good, you also need to know. So the Hatha Yoga is one, because Hatha Yoga is a physical way to still the mind. It's really very important. It really does help. You take one Hatha class, maybe you can't do the deep relaxation, that shows you that your mind is agitated. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And in a year, things will happen to you. Hatha Yoga doesn't mean once a week. You may come to a class once a week, but get a discipline to do it at home at least 3 times a week. And you don't have to do an hour and 15 minutes. I've started again every morning except for Wednesday because I have to leave very early. My meditation takes 2 hours, so I just can't do it all. But now I started to do it again every single day. And I really see the difference in my body. In the last 2 weeks, I already see the body. It's making a difference. I can feel my body's getting stronger. My arms are getting stronger. And that's just the last 2 weeks that I've been doing it every day and just leaving Wednesday out. But you really feel the difference. Not only that, when the body feels strong and healthy, it likes itself. It wants to maintain that peace. it will encourage you to do the mind work, which is very difficult. That's more subtle. And the mind, if you are not in control of the body, will manipulate the body to fidget. It will manipulate the body to fidget. But with the practice of hatha, you will learn to keep it more still. And it also removes all your toxins so that it helps you to have a healthier tempo in which for your spirit to grow. So that is the, and hatha is also very important in one way. It works on your hormonal system, your endocrine system. And you all know what hormones are like, right? Male, female. You know, testosterone works just as badly as female estrogen or progesterone, you know, whatever it is. They're equal problems. Everybody has the hormonal, the endocrine system. And if you look, the pituitary gland, the master gland, is the one that passes all the messages down to the rest of the thyroid, the parathyroid, your thymus gland, your adrenals, and then your gonads and your ovaries, right? All these hormonal changes in your body are going to make a difference to your state of mind. And females, we know it so well. You know, and I'm sure men know females so well. I remember when I was in university, I was with 3 brothers, and they would say, "Oh God, she's getting her period." You know? They'd know 2 days before. The hormones used to hold me. Oh God, you know, we're in for it. You know? So, and that is the state how we can affect our minds, and males too. When they're not exercising enough. The body is not getting the drainage it needs, the lymph glands, all these things. In the olden days, people used to work on the field. So hatha yoga is extremely important, particularly because it actually works on all these glands that I speak about. You know, the shoulder stand, all the blood goes down to your head, your thyroids, right? The bow pose, you can see your pancreas and your kidneys. It works on these things. Head to knee pose again on all the intestines, large intestines, small intestines. Any blockages, emotional as well, will be squashed out. Where does all the emotion sit? Your stomach. That's where it sits. So if you have a lot of emotional disturbance, do the bow pose, do a lot of head to knee pose, because squeezing it out. Bow pose, opening and stretching it out. Know yourself. Help your mind help itself. Deepen your practice of hatha. I cannot control my mind. I can see it's going all over the place. I need something to keep it calm. It's not working with the meditation, because as soon as I sit down, all the guilt starts coming in, all this starts coming in. Do the hatha. And some people say, I really, really don't like hatha. And do some walking with the mantra. Walk with the mantra. Walk on the beach. Walk by the mountainside. But repeat your mantra. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And the mind will go all over the place and scream it out if you have to. In my early days when I was some days, you know, your mind doesn't want to listen, right? It just refuses to listen. I walked down, I remember walk to work every day I used to live in Marina Bay, Marina Court, and down to my work in middle of Main Street. And I'd have this step, even with my children, I used to walk down, say, let's do this. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om. And the kids would love it. And it would be like so loud, and it was me actually, because I had so much to do in a day with working the shop, feeding the kids. I didn't want to go into blame mode, poor me mode. You know, the mind does that. And poor me, I have to do da-da-da-da-da, you know, the sing-song it does. You will know. Okay, I refuse to put this energy onto my children. How can I dissipate it? Sitting in meditation sometimes just doesn't do enough. You know, use your tools well. You have them. Use them. And then you shout, even if you have to scream it, sing it, whatever. And then you will notice in 15 minutes, all that energy that you had inside, or the mind stuff, now you've conquered it. You actually gone into battle. You're saying, you got this, you know, poor me syndrome, and I'm here. You guess who's stronger? The divine in me. I'm using what I think is divine, the mantra, whatever, or this too shall pass. You don't have to use a Sanskrit mantra, you can use a Catholic one. It's up to you. This too shall pass, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. By the time you got to the place, it's past. But be positive. Be positive with yourself. Don't say, I can never do it. You gotta do that. Don't even bother with yoga. You might as well suffer more till one day you learn your lesson. Go suffer. You can't be weak-minded. Oh, I can't do it. Who is your best friend, says the Bhagavad Gita? You. Who is your worst enemy, says the Bhagavad Gita? You. What does Paramahansa Yogananda say? The greatest victory you can ever achieve is victory over your own mind. It didn't say manipulating other people's minds. And all these yogis have become very spiritual, and what do they want? Disciples. Please God, just let me be a student. Oh, I've got so many students. Why would you want to manipulate anybody's mind? If you have students, then they're there to share with. Because, you know what? You have a job to do. Full stop. Don't give yourself any fancy airs about being a yoga teacher. There's nothing fancy about it. It's learning about being human. The whole yoga practice is about humanity. Human, kindness, goodness. And if you're not kind to yourself, with all these angry thoughts towards everybody, life puts you in these hot beds of coal to teach you. Puts you in these, I really think they're coals, don't you? Yeah. We have many people in this room that's been through dark coals, and there are dark, dark days, and we all have to go through them. I don't know one person who doesn't go through a black coal day, or months, or years even. And these are examples in Ramayana, in the Bhagavad Gita. Look at in the Ramayana, Lord Rama was an ideal son, ideal king, ideal everything, human being. So much so that his brothers adored him. And what happens? Because of jealousy of one wife and a promise his father made to this wife, he had to tell his son to leave. And what was the son's reaction? A prince brought up with all this wealth. No, father, your word is more important. You promise my stepmother that you will give her whatever wish. Her wish is that I don't become king, and her son does. Father, you have to keep your word. Don't worry about me. I will go into the forest for 14 years. If that's what they want, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it, but Father, your honor is more important. Do you see honor? And the burning in the forest, and he goes in the forest. Not only that, the demons come and steal his beloved wife Sita from him, who's the most beautiful, holy, pure person. After going from pain, leaving everything you know, living in the forest with nothing, your wife is stolen from you, from the demons, after you're such a good son. Any complaint after that? He had to go into battle. He had no choice. He had to go into battle to get his wife back. That was his responsibility. And everybody came to help him. In the end, he won the war. And he got back Sita and brought her back home. And that's when we celebrate Diwali, when he comes back to Ayodhya, and his brother who took the crown didn't even want it because he loved Lord Rama so much. He told his mother, I don't know what you have done. Why did you do this to Ram? I'm not meant to be king. Look what you have done to the nation. Didn't want to speak to his mother again. So, all these stories here are to show us that Rama is supposed to be these gods, one of these gods reincarnated. Even they have to go through the burning. Look at Lord Jesus. Even he had to go through the burning. How much burning did he go through? But in the end, my Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. So every time you feel like the world is crashing down on you, which you will feel, and everybody will feel, just be so grateful that you have the tools to know that suffering is normal. Just know it's normal. And this is your time of walking on the coals. Can you walk? Or will you keep saying, you have to cross? If you go, I can't, you'll never get across. Give Shanti May my best. And I'm sorry I can't go to her dance.
Fine.
Okay, so you'll never get across. You'll never get across. So you need to walk on hot coals. And that is your training. And that is your training. And once you've done it, you're done. Once you walk on the hot coal, you never want to do it again, you're done. You will never take that path again, you'll take a new road. You will take a new road, because you already learned. And this is why it says it's really, really important for you to continue your practice. And Sri Patanjali tells us the obstacles, disease, dullness, doubt, carelessness, laziness, false sensuality, falling from ground gain, and failure to reach firm ground. These are your obstacles. And how do you recognize when you're falling? How do you recognize when you're falling? Shaking, trembling, distress, agitation. Listen to your breathing, hurried breathing. Uh-oh, watch it. I'm shaking. This is not a good sign. What do I do? Deepen my practice right away. Don't wait till it gets worse. You wait till it gets worse, it's 20 times more work. You have the tools. Just decide, okay, every morning I'm going to go to Hatha. Every morning I'm going to spend at least 15 minutes meditating. But because I can't meditate, because all these negative thoughts come, I'm going to choose a figure or an object. Or even if I'm going to come to the yoga center where the energy is so good, we have the yantra here, I'll come in at 8, I'll call Lakshmi, can I borrow the keys the night before? Oh, by the way, I have your keys. And open the center, come in at 6 o'clock. Why don't you even stay one night? Be on your own. Feel the energy and ask for help, 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 help. You know, by the time morning comes, your whole world will be different. But when we have a problem, we want to look at it more and more and more and more and more. Sometimes you have to look at it more, but sometimes if you look at it too much and analyze it too much, you actually give it too much energy. So distract the mind from the problem. Distract Praktipaksha Bhavana is what Sri Patanjali tells us to do. Very clearly. Hear your own mind, and when it's negative, replace it with something beautiful and positive. That's how I cure people with, the gods give me the energy to cure people with phobias. Many people have been cured from phobias. Simple method. For example, they're frightened to fly. So I get them to associate flying with something really good. If this is creative visualization in their mind, I make them walk to the plane and they're shaking in their mind, and suddenly they see something funny that they remember. So the thought of flying is replaced by something very funny. I said, think of something in your life that's so funny that makes you laugh. Somebody slipped somewhere, or you made a fool of yourself. There's always situations in our life that, are really, really funny that you remember that you laughed and you laughed, the night in Barcelona, Shanti made us laugh so much many years ago. Lakshmi was there.
Yeah, Lakshmi.
And then you think about these funny thoughts. The pressure of the fearful thoughts will go away. The pressure. Because that's pressure when you're fearful thoughts. What can you do? You have to do it. Some things none of us like to do. We have to do. We have families. Would love to run away, wouldn't you? Many times in my life I thought, I'd love to run. I'd love to run. But then there's something that we call honor in us, or self-respect. And you can't, because you tell your heart, I want to run, and the heart goes, sorry, you can't run, you have to stay. You know it. You know it. You really want to run. And you know that if you do, you don't like yourself anymore. You know. So you have to stay with it. How do you deal with the weakness, the fears? How do you deal with all those? That's in the practice that you put in. For me, Swadhyaya, study of spiritual books, is a great one. Really, all of you now, every day, I don't know if you do, every day, you should read something that is elevating. Every day. Do you do it? How many don't do it?
Most of
Nobody
us.
wants to put up their hands.
Most of us.
Okay, great. Start to
Most
do
of
it.
them.
Start to build up the strength in your mind. Start to build up your light. You cannot take away the dark by just talking about light. You can only take away the dark by switching on the light. So switch on your light. What is your light? First step, positive. It's only the beginning step. Positive thoughts, positive thoughts, positive thoughts. I already talked about hatha, I already talked about walking, I already talked about japa, which is repeating the mantra. Apply all together. And japa, full force, non-stop all day. Japa, which is repeating of the mantra, also builds your force field. Sometimes you're sucked by somebody else's energy. Have you ever felt that? Do you know that feeling? Break it. Do you know how you break it? Mantra chanting creates a force field. Positive thoughts, it actually creates, whoa, you know, it does it in water, doesn't it? Haven't we studied it? So water is in your cells, right? So you imagine, now you can't think positive thoughts because you're too troubled or you're in too much pain. You can't, or you just can't. Use japa. That's why we use mantra. Something elevating, something high, because that changes the formation of your cells within you. So you keep repeating, for example, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Shanti, Loka Samasta. French. You got it, right? Right now, yes. We'll have a sip of water.
But I can't sing, so I shall repeat.
You can sing, Annie. I've heard you sing. I've heard you sing beautifully.
Que l'univers entier soit rempli de paix et joie, d'amour et de lumière. Doesn't match.
We can cut a little.
Paix, joie et lumière, amour et lumière.
You got it.
That's
Yeah.
lovely.
So learn it well for us
Yes,
next
well, I
time.
have to swap the words and then.
Yes, you swap the words. Doesn't matter. Yeah, great. Thank you. Why does it make us so happy? It's such a simple thing. Do you see that? Because why? We just got distracted from mind stuff and we thought, maybe listen to Annie with positive. Do you see how the mind stuff, Praktibhakya Bhavana, total opposite thought, not focusing on the negative. See how it works so quickly? It lifts your spirit. Lifts your spirit. This is why all the saints and sages say, please always be in good company. When you're in good company, there is no time for the negative to go in. But what do most people do when they're miserable? They won't come to the yoga center, or they won't mix with friends that will help them to elevate because they want to get into their black hole and feel sorry for themselves. You burn, sorry. Who else suffers but you? And I keep telling people, why, if you love the God in you, why would you want to do that to you? Fight against it. That's your battle. Why do you want to do that to you? Don't you think you deserve better? Why do you want to keep falling into that black place? Isn't it? Call yourself. It's idiotic. Be honest with yourself. That's foolish. You know, just be straightforward. Don't be so kind to yourself. You don't deserve it. You know, all this self-pity, where is it going to get you? But not sleeping at night, not eating, not able to cope with work, panic attacks. Why would you want to encourage that kind of behavior? You see why the yogis say that our minds are like drunken monkey, stung by a scorpion and possessed by demons? Can you understand why he says that now? So the practice to deepen, and then one of the very, very, very most most powerful practice is, of course, the practice of pranayama. Because why? Again, like the japa, you are using something physical to get in touch with something that is subtle, which is your spirit, your soul. The breath is subtle. It's the connection between ether and breath and oxygen and air. So you start breathing. Also, please realize it has a very scientific positive effect as well. It's not just spiritual. The scientific effect is you're taking in more oxygen. As you take in more oxygen, your body becomes healthier. Now, when you're depressed, you're depleted of oxygen because the mind, too much thoughts, depletes you of oxygen. This is why when people are sad, you notice they're very gray, right? Because oxygen is depleted in their bodies. Because they're sad. Because when you're sad, you tend not to breathe. You tend to go like this. Even if you do breathe, your mind hasn't got prana, it hasn't got light. So when you don't have light in your mind, you're also another way of taking away your God-given gift of light. So breathe deeply. Just breathe deeply. Breathe deeply with me now. Sit with your spine erect. Thank you. The spine erect is really important because don't forget your nervous system sits on your spine. So it's like a electrical current. You want it to come all the way to its highest point. All right? So take a slow deep breath. And exhale slowly and completely. Now inhale again very slowly, taking your time. And as you exhale, make it very long. More air, releasing more till you suck in your abdomen. Hold the breath there for a second. And inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Open your eyes. We only did 3 breaths. That's it. Look at the energy of the room. You've changed, you've shifted the molecules in the room. How will that work when you do after an hour of deep breaths? What will that do to you? And this is why when people have panic attacks, I say, this is your prescription. I said, there's nothing you have to buy. Everything you need is in this prescription. Now write down 10 things. Another thing I also do with them is, in the times when your mind is extremely agitated, it's better to eat light. Very light foods, vegetables, maybe raw foods, but not everybody. I know now everybody's into raw foods, but some people's body is not, my body is not good with a lot of raw food. It creates a lot of wind in my body and just it goes out of sync. But I'm very good with stir-fried cooked vegetables. Quickly stir-fried. Very good for my body. I know that over the years now. This is so good for my body, you know? And then you learn to, it's not necessarily that raw foods are good for everyone, because now everybody's saying, just raw foods. And now I'm seeing people who are suffering also, because it really, so much raw food is not good for them. And if I remember Gurudev, and funny, I was thinking this recently, because I was doing an experiment for just 2 days with raw foods, and I was feeling, I know you have to detox, but then I remember Gurudev's words. He said, for me, cooked food is the best. I came back, his words, and we're having lunch together one day in India. And I feel that with my body. I just never put the two together, you know? But learn to know your body. Some people are wonderful with raw foods. It's your makeup. You know, I'm sure when you study Ayurveda, it's the makeup of your body, of more wind, more, you know, fire, whatever is what suits your body. And if you can get the combination right, but really with Hatha and observing yourself, for me, it's being your best teacher. For me, I learn about my own body, what's good for me, what's not good for me. And then I don't follow anybody, I just follow myself. Because one day they'll say raw foods, the next day they'll say this, the next day they'll say that's bad for you, the next day they'll say that. But you're going to get so confused, you know, when so many millions of diets prescribed, you know. So listen to yourself, listen to your body. It will talk to you, you know. I remember once a health doctor said I couldn't have bananas, so I stopped. I love bananas. And you know, my nails was getting worse because I needed the potassium in the bananas. So you know, I don't know why I'm listening to this. I have this craving. So I started eating bananas. I still eat bananas every day. I love bananas. It's so good for me. Now, since I do my own diet, you know, and when I cut the bananas, I used to have asthma. And now I'm eating the bananas and I don't. So, you know, and this doctor said to me, you have to cut out the bananas. So I cut it down for 3 years for nothing. And now I'm having it every day, sometimes 2 a day. So, you know, you have to know your body. You have to know what it can take, what it can't take, what it needs. And yet give me grapes and I get terrible cramps. Can you eat grapes? Other people, thrive on grapes. So, give me too much pineapple, and my goodness, I get stomach cramps. My husband used to live off pineapple. It made him feel so good, it gave him energy. You see, you have to understand that different people need different things. That's another thing you need to learn. So when your mind is troubled, another way to deepen your practice is really to cut down on the food. Make it less quantity so that because the brain scientifically uses more energy to digest the food. So you don't want to have so much, because you're already exhausted, you already have very low in energy when you're sad or depressed. So what you're trying to do is the opposite. Build energy, build prana, build positive, build activity. You do everything the opposite. Drink a lot of water, keep drinking water, and sometimes you need to up it with vitamins. Depends on your body again. Because a lot of our foods are so contaminated these days, we don't get enough vitamins. So you may need to boost up with some vitamins. I'm not an expert. I guess my own, you know. I've been to experts who tell me to take 20 a day. You gotta be kidding. I don't want that. My liver's gonna die. This is my own personal opinion. I know what I like, so I stick to my own. You have to know yourself. You know, you have to answer to yourself. Vitamin C, 2,000 milligrams, easy for me every day. Somebody else, 2,000 milligrams, they have diarrhea. Can't take it. You have to know yourself. For me, it's the best medicine for me. I stopped taking it for a month, I noticed a difference. Right away. So this is your experiment, all right? Find out about yourself, know about it. All these factors help to deepen your meditation and your practices. Because realize one thing and know one thing certainly, you are body, mind, and spirit. You may want to be so spiritual, but please get psychologically wise first. Fix yourself. If you have any hang-ups, sort them out first. No point turning to me, so spiritual, when you're just all the time feeling this anger in you or this frustration in you. Admit, I'm not. I'm walking my road. I'm walking the path to get there. You know, admit it. When you get there, you don't even have to say it. People will tell you, oh my God, you've changed. They will tell you. You don't have to be a self-acclaimed spiritual person. Everybody is one already. They just forgotten. There's nothing special in it. We were born to be that way anyway. So just because you become a little bit more spiritual, oh, Please don't get a big head about it. Everybody else is, thank you. So just get real. Get real with your practices. So do you remember the points today to deepen your practices? And first and foremost, stop doing this. Stop doing this. What in me created this situation? Everything is a learning, I know. 1. Second, what do? Hatha yoga. Build up the energy in your body, fix your hormonal system. Anju's smiling at me, you know why? Because she's one of these people saying, I don't like Hatha yoga. And she's been nudging me all the time. Resistance. Resistance, right? The body likes, I don't like. Now, what does Sri Patanjali tell us? Get beyond likes and dislikes. Sorry, Anju. I'm so sorry to be so direct. Okay. And so, but Hatha Yoga is really very, very good because of the endocrine. You know, like I said, you can do the postures that you know are making a difference, and the ones that you don't do the fancy ones, no problem. That's why I love Gurudev's 12-step Hatha Yoga, the simple 12, you know, which we incorporate. And just stick to that. And even if you go to a class that's far more advanced, if you don't feel comfortable, all the teachers are so good here. They'll tell you you don't have to do it. And make yourself comfortable. You're not there. In our classes here, you're not meant to compete. And I know all our teachers do say, don't worry about competition. Just do what is comfortable. But go, male, females. You know when we went to, in India, Shanti, 6 o'clock in the morning is all male class, right? Maybe 1 or 2 females.
True, yes. It really was.
Oh man, I said so nice to see all men in the class, you know. 6 o'clock in the morning, all men. I said, oh my goodness,
True.
you know.
True.
Really wonderful to watch. And here, I don't know why men feel so embarrassed. It's all this ego stuff in the Western world that we put into our heads, you know. And I thought India was very good. And all the men are there. Really interesting, right? And even when we were in Swindon this time, we had so many men, right? At the talk.
Yes.
So many men. So things are starting to change, starting to shift. Especially when people stop saying, you have to come to the yoga and start to live it, they'll come themselves. People will come themselves. If you become the example, then what are you doing that's so different? But if you're talking about it and you're not becoming the example, forget it. You can tell them, come to the yoga, I've got this. She's not walking her talk, I'm not going to bother. They may not say it direct to your face, but I can guarantee you they're thinking it. So you see, these are the things we have to observe in ourselves, all right? So then we do pranayama, japa yoga. So best thing is you make yourself a nice, you really want to deepen your practice, you make yourself a nice program in the morning, and if you can't in the morning, in the evening, before dinner. It's up to you, you can choose your time. And if you really can't, midday, but before food. You decide, I'm going to concentrate for 15 minutes and watch what my mind is thinking. And then tell the mind to stop, and for the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to be. And if I can't be, I'll put on some music to help me, or some beautiful image to my mind. That's half an hour. After that, get up, cold water on your face, put out your mat, and do at least, if you don't want to do the whole hatha practice, 6 Surya Namaskarams. 1 forward bend, 1 backward bend, 1 minute shoulder stand, 1 twist like this, and 1 twist like that, and just finish. You're done. Won't take you more than another 20 minutes. And make it like that's my hour every morning. And then the last 10 minutes, you can either read something spiritual, or what you do is put on a CD or talk, something you enjoy listening to that raises your mind stuff. and do that for the last 10 minutes. You got a great program every morning. And it's no problem if you get up at 6:30, you'll be finished at 7:30. If you get up at 7, you'll be finished at 8. If you've got children that are young, I know it's a little difficult. You have to change your program. My idea would speak to your partner and say, would you mind Monday, Wednesday, Friday I do this? Or twice a week? Speak to your father. Could you look after the kids? I didn't have this problem because my children, when I started meditation, were in boarding school. But when my grandchildren came along and they stayed with me, my grandchildren, I open my eyes and they're not children that like to sleep, you know. I open, they smell me. So my husband used to be up very early too. So whenever they stayed with me over the weekend, his job, he looked after them. And they used to wait. My signal was the in my prayer room. I had my little prayer room. And he used to, and I could hear sometimes, can we go to Granny, please? No, let's do puzzles on the computer. Let's do this, let's do that. Was that 1.5, sometimes even 1.5 hours. And then when they hear the crying. But my husband did that for me, you know. He did it for me. A nice phone, very loud.
Maybe soon she's got the
Is it time?
DVD, maybe,
Oh,
yes,
no
that's
wonder
right.
it's telling me it's 7:15 and I want you to see the video. Okay, yeah, move it, you have to see the video. Now this video is, this DVD is, you know, when we went to India and we gave £2,000 from SIS, which is all of you, please. You are SIS. Please do not think SIS and Integral Yoga is separate. The only thing is SIS is in doing charitable deeds, but it's really in the arm of Integral Yoga, all right? We're not connected with any other organization, whereas Integral Yoga is with Integral Yoga Institutes. SIS is our own, which means Service in Satchidananda, all right? So SIS is, we gave £2,000 to this man called Papa Vidyaka. Now Papa Vidyaka, how we know about him is, how long ago when were we in India?
2001.
2001 we went to India, a group of 34 of us. And Frank, Mitra and Tony found this man who was picking up special needs children from the street. And at that time he had just a small place, not enough money, nothing. So they came back to me and said, look, Nalanie, can we support these people? So Integral Yoga has been supporting them for many years, but it's the first time I went. And in 10 years, this man has built such a huge organization. He feeds and looks after 2,000 people from the street, men, women, children, special needs. And so what we did is we went here to raise the money, gave him 2,000. Now a Flag Day is coming, but I brought this video to show, DVD to show you, and part of the funds will be used to send to Papa Vidyaka. But I thought it might inspire you to see what kind of people live in this world. And really, when we have higher thoughts, we have no more time for all these small complaining thoughts. Once Mark can get us on. You know why I'm talking, right? Because I'm waiting for it to go. It was working before.
Mm-hmm.
So have we been sending the money since 2001 or?
Yes, every year we send them about, Tony does it for us,